I've been poring over this stuff for the last couple of days, and like there's one thing that is very clear: everybody wants this to be a conspiracy, left or right, doesn't matter. The absence of any real information, people will just fill it full of noise. Biden authorized the hit. It's a false flag. All of this sort of nonsense. And I think that's normal, but disappointing.
I've been really surprised at the amount of anger being thrown at one. I on my Twitter feed when this first happened, I was blamed for the shooting by one of New Zealand's well-known trolls. This is what you get. You caused this. When the left, blah, 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 blah. Then when it came out that he was a registered Republican, that comment got deleted off my Twitter feed. Funnily enough. I know. And the person, I've actually muted that person. They don't know that I saw it, but I saw it. I'll just wait for them to pop up next time. And I'll be, oh, yeah, okay. So yeah. So, but the thing about this guy, it sounds a really weird way to say it. He almost seems like the perfect person to talk about this politically because he did donate to the left when he was a kid. He did vote for the right when he was an adult. And actually both sides are pointing towards that to say he's yours. No, he's yours. No, he's yours. Well, actually, one of the tweets I put out, in fact, I'll go and grab it, is basically, I talked about people on the right who are going to blame the far left for this. I'm sure none of them were quiet when Nancy Pelosi's husband had his head cracked in by a thing, by a Trump voter.
I saw a screen grab of Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter feed last Halloween, where he's just preparing for my Halloween costume.
That's part of what Dave Brian BTC talks about.
That was literally my first thought. This is a man that has encouraged, walking right up to the line of encouraging political violence, walked right up to the line of nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Some of you Second Amendment folks should do something about Hillary. Right up to encouraging a coup, like really injecting political violence into in a way that just hasn't been done by a candidate before. And that goes for a lot of the Republicans. How often do they pose with guns? We're going to destroy the Democrats, all of this sort of stuff. Those guys have brought that vibe into the discussion. And then we have this. And I would love it if this was a come to Jesus moment where everyone went, oh, maybe we're wrong about this. I think Trump has had a completely different come to Jesus moment based on his quotes that says he feels like God stopped it from happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get to an interview with the journalist who spoke to him as well. She says some things, maybe not dissimilar to that. This is one of the tweets I put out quite early on. A word of advice: left voters, don't start questioning the Trump incident as a setup, and right voters, don't start to paint this as anything to do with Democratic Party. It'll be a lone unhinged shooter, and as you can see, if you think about rage farming, that's had about 1,100 interactions. You go to the next one up. As an aside, if he needed any more help, Trump's just won the election. That's had 4,000. And there's another one up here where I say, I do hope anyone blaming Joe Biden or the radical left for the shooting at Trump's rally also blamed the alt-right when Nancy Pelosi's husband got attacked. That had over 5,000. So you can see the kind of balanced conversation that first came out, which was my natural reaction. It's like, guys, just this is no, because you can call it. I mean, to be really frank, if we're in a debating class, Chewie, and you got me to debate when people talk about Trump as being a threat to democracy and we must defeat him, I can see how an unhinged person could take that to defeat him at any cost. Now, that hasn't been said, and equally, that may be true. This is the thing, right? That may all be true. He may be wanting to bring in an authoritarian fascist state. That might all be true. But that's not how you defeat him. And I think that's the one thing we've heard across the board today is he has to be defeated at at the ballot box. And then you put into the equation, the guy's a voter for the right. Like, we're never going to know because he's not there to answer the questions, but he's a Republican and he votes for the right, or he was going to vote for the right. It's a really bizarre story, other than mentally sick, unhinged individual. And that's kind of a cover-all for, it doesn't have to make logical sense.
Look, there's lots of lessons that the US could learn from this. They're not going to learn any of them. Trump's not going to calm down. I think this is just going to rev him up. I think it's going to put his supporters on, almost a literal war footing. They could learn something about isolated, bullied kids shouldn't be bought guns by their parents. Nobody's going to learn that. It's just a shit show. The other thing, and this is kind of a weird aside, the other thing that's really annoyed me with, I guess, most of the US-based coverage is the use of the word unprecedented. This is an unprecedented attack. And
no, it's not.
It's really not.
Well, but even not that. America, according to the FBI, it's four dead in one incident, have a mass shooting every single day. When Joe Biden, and we're going to show a little clip of Joe Biden when we're doing the conversation from BTC, when Joe Biden says, we don't live in a country, blah, 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 violence is never the answer. I'm like, Joe, do you know what country you live in? How can you stand up now and say, we don't do this, we don't do violence, violence is never the answer, at a country that sells guns and has gun crime like you guys do? I mean, that made me kind of go, oh, you guys don't get it. This is not unprecedented. What you're about to say, Chewie, to do with presidential, attacks, but also, as I said to the previous FBI agent, if it wasn't Donald Trump, this is a multiple times a day incident. People getting shot at in America. So yeah, I agree. Not unprecedented.
I also like America is a country that solves its problem with the ballot, not the bullet. Again, historically, no, not really. And certainly on a worldwide scale, no, not at all.
No.
Tend to solve problems at the end of a laser guided bomb. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to shock people out of the pipeline that they seem to be locked into. Certainly touching base with a lot of my US friends, their reaction is after seeing those photos with Trump with his hand held high, they're like, this is going to play in every story about this. Every newspaper is going to carry it. That's the election. That's it. It doesn't matter at this point.
I don't mind living on this side of the world and saying that because we have no influence. I think that's the case. I tweeted that hours after those photos came out. And it's interesting. I've been watching through the weekend. I know many people don't like Vosh as a commentator, but he's been liberal, pretty left-leaning. He was like, Trump looks like a alpha male. He goes, I hate the guy, but he's being honest. Cenk Uygur said, it doesn't matter what you think of the guy. He looks like, a hero in this photo. And that'll be the imagery to take him all the way through. I also think, though, now this is now my wishful thinking, if Trump had an ounce of smarts, or if he had people around him with an ounce of smarts that could get through to him, he could right now change the narrative of this election. He could do the opposite to what you're saying you think he's going to do. And I think he's probably going to do as well, Chewie, and go to this. And he could change the narrative now and look presidential and look like the unifier in chief and romp home. Like, honestly, if they had any kind of smarts in that, whatever their equivalent of the ninth floor is for a candidate, if he spun that to go like the court case, if they can do it to me, they can do it to you. It's like, you guys don't want these guns to be aimed at you. It was aimed at me, and that's okay. And now we're going to do the right thing and go to the ballot. We're going to go to the ballot. All this rhetoric's going to stop. We're going to go to the ballot. He would romp home, and he would be seen by many who are that kind of floating middle or not that involved in politics like we are as a different person. Now, I don't think he can do it. I don't think he's got the wherefore to be that balanced.
He's chosen by God at this point.
But if he did, that would be, like, I actually think playing the more aggressive chosen by God hand will be the only thing that could possibly still defeat him, because that will get the backup of the other side, you know, the ones that don't want God in their government. Whereas if he just played it as a peacemaker now, he could. I don't think he's going to do it. Don't get me wrong. I
don't think he's capable.
No.